Hi, my name is Jamal Wilcox, and this is my reflection video for the interview session that we shot this week. And starting it off, I'm gonna go over some of the gear that I used. So I used a Zoom H5 along with a Rode shotgun microphone. I shot the interview on two cameras, a Nikon and a Panasonic GH4. And I want to say the GH4 was my A camera and the Nikon was the B camera. For the recording setup, I mostly used the shotgun mic and the Zoom H5. I've only had one session so far. The interview lasted for about 50 minutes, and we there was like some small talk prior to. I wanted to make sure that he felt comfortable. I felt at one point the way I started to ask questions kind of like made him feel like he had to be very professional and kind of like hold it together. So I think I probably will try to go back and ask some different questions, but we'll see. And I gotta be honest, I was nervous out of my mind. No matter how much I practiced and prepped everything to make sure everything was perfect, I was still super nervous. I was able to ask the questions without stuttering and I wasn't sweating like crazy, but the entire time I was like, man, I hope my audio is good. Man, I hope my audio is good. So that's for me. I was nervous. My subject, he was pretty calm. He was relaxed due to a conversation prior to. I try to tell him. I was telling him to try to qualify the answers, and I want to say we went through it. I started to ask questions, and by question number two, I noticed that he wasn't doing it. So I kind of just asked him if it was cool if we could just start over. And I made sure that we had a clear understanding on what it meant, but he was cool with it. As far as room tone, I wasn't able to get room tone at first, but went back and knocked it out. But I did forget to get room tone before we filmed, so during the entire shoot, I was listening for sound bites, trying to make sure like I had something that I could use. But just listening to his story was super phenomenal, and had some really good sound bites. So super excited to see what happens with it. And I really didn't have to ask them to repeat their response because he was very very clear on what he was saying, and everything got picked up well as far as audio. So we're able to just keep going right through with all of the questions. And another thing was when we were doing the sound check, it wasn't per se like the way that we were told to do it. So I probably will get docked some points for that. But I was trying to make sure that he felt comfortable, and I kind of forgot the whole thing about making sure that the room sounds good and waiting 30 seconds. We were kind of like it was almost like a conversation than it was an interview. But it did work out. I was able to like make sure he was relaxed, and I got some really really genuine answers, and that's a win, I guess. And I learned a lot about interviewing, mostly about myself and the way I react to certain things, especially thinking on my feet. We weren't able to shoot in the first location, so I was like, okay, cool. Is it okay if we do this? He was cool with it, and we made it happen. And as far as like getting my subject to kind of open up and to show emotion, I didn't go directly into the interview questions that I had in mind. I kind of like went around it and came back to it. So there are bits and pieces during the interview that really does not relate to the story, but it helped him to get in. Like when he did answer the questions, they were genuine, and he felt comfortable, and it just felt more authentic. And I didn't have to like do any like tricks. It just all felt natural just doing it that way. And the part of the interview that stood out to me the most, I would have to say, was just hearing his story was just amazing, and I can't wait to share it. And this story is about a man who shows how to have faith and courage while struggling with relationships and insecurities. Thanks for watching.